Hey guys, welcome to my second trimester recap. Now, I'm well into my third trimester now, but you guys know, blah blah blah, I've been super busy. So I finally have time to film my recap, and I want to just let you guys know how the second trimester was for me. In case you're expecting, or you want to hopefully get pregnant soon, or you've been following along because you're also around my same weeks of pregnancy, whatever it is. I feel like everyone says this, but second trimester was definitely the best trimester of them all. First trimester, I was so fatigued, had a lot of food aversions. It honestly wasn't too bad, but I was, that fatigue I felt the first trimester was just unreal. Now being in my third trimester, it trickles in every once in a while. I have a few tips for you guys that I will share in this video for when you're feeling fatigued. Anyway, so let's get into what I wrote down for the second trimester. I would just randomly note stuff during my second trimester, and that's what I have written down. But I feel like it was the best trimester. It was my belly. Your belly typically starts to grow, so my belly was growing. It started to show. That was really exciting. I had a lot more energy. I was still really mobile. It was just the best. Just the best. Now my belly's a lot bigger in the third trimester. I have a few more aches and pains, but we'll save all that for the third trimester recap. Well, I wrote here that I had gained 25 pounds from my second trimester. My hair is super thick. I noticed my hair was so thick when I would wash it. You know, when your hair is freshly out of the shower, it's wet, it feels usually the thinnest because, you know, it's all stuck together. But I remember feeling my hair and it just felt so thick, and that's because in pregnancy your hair goes through 3 phases. One of the phases is when it falls out. Everyone loses hair every day, so when you're pregnant your hair stops that cycle, so you're only growing hair. And that's what everyone talks about, postpartum hair loss, because when you're not pregnant anymore, around 5 to 6 months after you give birth, your hair goes back to the normal phases of hair growth, and the hair falling cycle begins, and that's why you end up losing a lot of hair. So I did notice my hair was super thick. I wrote down I felt the baby move at 16 weeks. I was on the motorcycle with my husband, and I remember I just felt these little flutters in the top front of my belly, and I thought, oh my gosh, that doesn't feel like a cramp. It just felt so different. Like, I've never felt anything like that, and it was just right in the front of my belly, and it was for maybe like a minute. I felt all these little tiny flutters. I texted my midwife and she said that I could feel the baby move that soon. So I remember I was so excited, but then I didn't feel the baby again for probably 5 weeks. I think at 21 weeks or so is when I really started to feel the baby move a lot more. Even though I didn't get to feel the baby a lot, I did, you know, get to feel him. I also have an anterior placenta, so that means my placenta's at the front part of my belly. Sometimes you either have an anterior or posterior placenta. So if it's posterior, it's towards the back of your uterus. So women that have posterior placentas tend to feel the movement a lot more because their baby kicks a lot more in their belly. I guess my baby just moves like more towards the inside, so I don't tend to feel it as much. I also had a lot more energy. So I felt like myself second trimester. I felt like I woke up again. All that fatigue went away, and I just felt so much more energy. I was able to, you know, be my normal productive go self. So that was really nice. I also noticed a little bit more pregnancy brain, and I've got to be honest, I know these things are real, right? But I've been my sister-in-law was pregnant around me twice, and you just hear about people saying like, oh, I have pregnancy brain, and I just kind of thought maybe the ladies were being a little dramatic. I'm just being honest, okay? But it came around full circle and bit me in the butt. So that's what I get for assuming, because I thought, oh my gosh, it can't be that bad. But especially in the second trimester, I would just be mid-sentence and just, I totally forget what I was talking about or about to say or doing, or it was just genuinely pregnancy brain. I also brought this up to my midwife. She said it's because the baby takes the fat from your brain for themselves. That's why it's important to take fish oil or some sort of supplement like that, or eat a lot of fish to get those omegas in, because the baby takes that brain fat. And she said not to worry, once you're not pregnant anymore, it regenerates. But she said to take fish oil to help with that. I still get pregnancy brain a little bit now, but it was definitely really dramatic, I felt like, in the second trimester. Still sometimes I just like totally blank out on what I'm doing or saying, so that's interesting. I felt like I started to need a pregnancy pillow, but a lot of my second trimester, we were in the middle of moving, so we were staying with family for a month while we were moving up to Idaho, from Arizona up to Idaho. So the bed we had there in their guest room is a queen size bed. My dog sleeps with me and my husband and we just like all barely didn't fit on the bed anyway, so I couldn't imagine getting a huge pregnancy pillow and putting it on the bed also. I would have just taken the bed up myself. So I didn't get one. I actually still don't have one, and I'm currently 32 weeks. I think you get into your third trimester at 27. I just ordered one, so I'm just getting one because I've been using my pillow and it's been working just fine. And I thought to myself, like, why am I going to order this huge pillow that's just really for pregnancy? It's going to be super clunky and I'm not going to use it, you know, until maybe the next time I'm pregnant. So I just thought it was kind of like a waste maybe. And also my house isn't like too big here, so I'm really mindful of the things that I like to bring in because I don't want it to be too cluttered. But my husband keeps telling me, order it, because you're just touching the beginning of your uncomfortableness. You're gonna get huge and be way more uncomfortable very soon. And he says that I should just have it for that time. So I finally listened and ordered one. So we'll see if I like it or not, because my pillow in between my legs just works right now. But I mean, he is right. My belly's just gonna keep getting bigger, so I'm sure it's gonna be comfortable and nice. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. But yeah, I barely just got one. I also noted I would get these huge random hungry spells. It was just so interesting to me because, you know, when you're pregnant, I feel like we've all heard, oh, you're eating for two, which you guys, if you're pregnant or planning on getting pregnant soon, we're not supposed to eat for two. That's like an old saying. We're actually supposed to be eating relatively the same amount of food. I think you increase your calories by around 200 calories your second trimester, and then 300 to 400 calories a day your third trimester. So that's really not that many more calories. That's like a snack or two throughout the day of eating extra while you're pregnant. So it's not, you're not like eating for two. You don't need to double your food, especially like in the first trimester or anything like that. And a lot of women end up being sick in their first trimester. Anyway, I've been very the same. I feel like my hunger hasn't really been spiked like you. Sometimes you hear women talk about how like they're extra hungry all the time, and I just didn't experience that myself. But just randomly, every once in a while, there's a day where I wake up and I feel like I could just eat and eat and eat all day long, and I don't get super full, and it's just like I just get these random hungry spells where I feel like I can eat so much food. And I just listen to my body, since that doesn't happen to me all the time. On those days where I'm feeling extra hungry, I will just eat extra food and feel, you know, and I usually follows by the next day. I've noticed that I end up eating a little less the next day, not on purpose, but just my hunger isn't quite there. So I feel like it ends up balancing out. That's just my experience. Like, I'm ravenous. It would be crazy to me how much I could eat, because I feel like I can already eat a lot sometimes not pregnant. Now let's talk about my random pregnancy cravings. I can't say that I've had these weird pregnancy cravings, like when, I don't know, girls want to put like peanut butter on a pickle or something, you know, like those weird combos. I personally haven't experienced any cravings like that, but I did have 2 really intense cravings that were just out of character for me, that were surprising, and I thought, wow, this is really interesting, because I don't know, I don't know if I always believe like pregnancy cravings. I don't know, like, I'm not saying I wouldn't believe women when they say these things. It just like seemed so dramatic or drastic to me, like such a change. But obviously, like, you're growing a baby, it's a big change. Anyways, guys, I'm just being honest with like how I used to think about these things. But anyway, so around 10 weeks or so, this is gonna be a little controversial, I really don't care, my midwife's totally fine with it, but I was around 11 weeks or so, maybe 12, I got this intense craving to want to eat sushi, like raw fish. To me, that was so random, because I have never in my life ever wanted to eat raw fish ever. I used to be such a picky eater, and I've worked on that a lot as I've grown older. I feel like that happens to a lot of people. But I would go on sushi dates with my cousin all the time, and she loves raw sushi, and she would eat all her raw fish, and I had no desire to ever try it. I would get fried rice or my edamame or California rolls or some sort of, you know, crab roll, and I'd be so happy. Never in my life would I even try, you know, she'll eat sashimi, which is like a slice of just raw fish. I still can't eat that. I have tried it though, which is crazy. I'm getting there. You know, maybe like a spicy tuna roll where they just have like a little bit of raw fish in the tuna roll, in the roll. I would never even try that. Nope, absolutely no way. It would gross me out. No. And I remember one time when Gunnar and I were first dating, my husband and I, he invited me to go get sushi like the second time or something that we went out to eat. And I told him I don't eat sushi. So he never really offered to take me again to eat sushi. So when I told him I feel like eating raw fish right now, he just looked at me like, are you serious? Like, that's so random, because I just have never wanted to eat that before. So just to share, I feel like that's such a drastic pregnancy craving. I don't know. It's just, it really caught me off guard. And I've been eating sushi my entire pregnancy, like a lot, which I think sometimes to myself, I wonder if I'm going to not want to eat this after I'm not pregnant. I hope I still want to, because it's so good. But that's so funny to me that I had such a drastic craving, like so different for me than anything. I've never thought in my life I would eat raw sushi. If you don't watch my channel and you're just watching this because of the second trimester recap, I'm not going to suggest you to eat raw sushi. I know it's like not suggested, but especially if you're in the United States, but a lot of countries other than the United States don't have that suggestion. I also know a lot of women that have been pregnant that eat sushi. I tell my midwife I eat sushi all the time, and she literally doesn't say a single word about it. So I think it's fine as long as I follow a few guidelines. Like, I'm not gonna get sushi from a gas station, I always say. I also don't even eat sushi from a grocery store, even if it looks, you know, fresh. I get it from a restaurant and I eat it there. I feel better about that decision, like eating it at a restaurant, because I feel like they're specifically know how to handle raw fish and whatnot. And the main concern about the raw fish is that you can get food poisoning, and you don't want to get food poisoning, especially in your first trimester. I don't know, take that. You guys decide on your own what you want to do. I feel totally fine with it, so I've been eating a ton of sushi. Also, another another intense craving has been Diet Coke. I think it like happened on the same day too. You guys, if you're, happen to be new watching this video, watching one of my videos for the first time, well, welcome first of all, and thank you. But I don't drink soda. I gave up soda. I remember in high school when I was around 17, because I used to drink a lot of soda then. And I stopped drinking soda. I would be a terror to people in my family when they're drinking soda. I don't care. I'm shameless. They're drinking a Coke and I'm telling them like how bad it is for them and that I don't want to drink them. I got my little brother to stop drinking so much soda. I introduced him to fizzy waters, and it's a big part of my personality. I've been knocked off my high horse. I no longer can say, oh, I haven't drank soda in 10 years, which I used to love saying. I used to love being able to brag about this. And now I can't, because I can't stop drinking Diet Coke. I don't know why. I don't want Diet Pepsi. I don't want Coca-Cola. I don't want Dr. Pepper. I don't want any other soda. It has to be Diet Coke. I used to drink Diet Coke a lot. My godmother drank it a lot when I was growing up. I remember I used to drink Diet Coke in high school. That was like one of the transitions I did from drinking soda, then I started drinking Diet Coke, and then I stopped drinking soda. So I don't know what it is. I don't want any other soda. It has to specifically be Diet Coke. Diet Coke from a can is even better. I haven't craved a soda in almost a decade, you guys. I had to have a Diet Coke with a little squeeze of lime. Oh my gosh, you guys. And I think those have been my intense pregnancy cravings. I've had, I crave something every once in a while, like a sandwich or, a specific dessert, but nothing that's like intense. The sushi and the Diet Coke are intense. Another thing for the second trimester was I moved across the country. My husband packed up all our stuff, my husband and I, and my little dog Petra. She's sleeping right here. She just got a bath. We packed up a U-Haul, packed up all our stuff, and we moved from Arizona to North Idaho. My husband drove the majority of the way. I drove like 2 hours at night one of the days. I was in my second trimester. I can't remember how many weeks I was, maybe like 17 or 18 weeks or so. I don't remember anymore. I mean, I've had a pretty easy pregnancy, so it wasn't honestly bad at all. My belly wasn't too big. I feel like if my belly was the size that it is now, I might be a little more uncomfortable, but then it was just tiny little bump, and I could still, put my legs up and be comfortable and move around. And I didn't have to pee all the time as much as I do now, but I definitely did still have to go to the bathroom all the time, but it wasn't, awful. We did it in 2 days. It was really great. We think back on it and just think it was so fun. My husband loves our cross-country trip. He just talks about it all the time still. And it was so sweet and fun, and Petra was in the middle of the U-Haul with us, and we were driving up, and she just slept the whole way, and she didn't really know what was going on. And we just ended up in Idaho, and it was so fun. It was just something to note if you're thinking about moving across the country, or something like having a huge move while you're pregnant. You could totally do it. It was a blast. Alrighty, next thing I wrote is towards the end of my second trimester, I did start to feel the baby move a lot. I was telling you guys around 21 weeks, I think, is when I remember starting to feel him a lot more often. Oh my gosh, you guys, I fell when I was 26 weeks. I fell. I was at the gas station. My husband was pumping gas, and I thought I'd be productive and clean out the truck. You've probably done this so many times. The trash can, I don't know why they do this, they put the trash can in the middle of the gas pumps, so if you pull up to the front one, you have to go over the gas pump hose. You have to walk over it or go under it to go to the trash can. And I think I don't know if the trash can was on that side or not, but I went to the back. I had to go over the hose for some reason and grab some trash that I was going to throw out, and I was coming back over the hose, which I've done my whole life, pumping gas when you're throwing away trash, you know, cleaning out the car at the gas station. I was wearing flip-flops, and my flip-flop caught onto the hose. This is when I realized, oh, okay, this is what they mean when you lose your balance when you're pregnant, because you have like heavier weight on your belly. Because I hadn't experienced that until then. I've still been moving and grooving like I usually do. It made me trip. I fell because I couldn't catch my balance. Luckily, the way I was turned, I fell and I was able to fall onto my side, and then like I hit my wrist, and then my elbow took a lot of the rest of the fall. I didn't fall on my belly, or nothing really happened after that. I just scared my husband to death probably. He was so scared that I fell, and so was I, and then I was almost cried because I felt like people were watching me. I fell. It was so embarrassing. But I mean, the most important thing was that my baby was okay, and he was okay. So that was definitely scary and like kind of a wake-up call, like, okay, Jasmine, you're pregnant, you have to be a little more careful. Now I'm not allowed to get off the truck at the gas station. I also had my anatomy scan on my second trimester. At 20 weeks you have your anatomy scan. Oh, so that means I was like 20 weeks when we did the cross-country move, because I had my anatomy scan in Arizona, and I think I had it at 19 weeks. So it's probably like 21 weeks when we moved, now that I'm remembering. Anyway, so I had my anatomy scan there. Thank God everything was good. Baby's growing well. Everything looked good. My placenta's in a good position and everything. So that was really fun to go in there and see the baby and like all his little limbs, and he looked so long and kind of muscular in his little arms, and it was just so cute. The other thing that I wrote here for a second trimester I've noticed, and it still happens now, is heart palpitations, which I guess is pretty common when you're pregnant, but it sounds really dramatic, a heart palpitation, but my heart will just start to race really fast, and my midwife says it's because of the increased volume of blood that we're producing while you're pregnant. So it's just like your body and heart, everything's like trying to catch up with all this blood that you're making now. Her best tip for me is drinking a lot of water. Staying hydrated is so important when you're pregnant. I can definitely tell when I'm not drinking enough water. You just need to help your body with all that blood volume that it's making. Increased blood volume. I think your blood doubles or something when you're pregnant, which is crazy if you think about it. A tip I have for the second trimester is increasing your protein. And if you're having a hard time eating a lot of protein, my midwife recommends 80 grams. Talk to your provider about how much they recommend. But if you're feeling tired, you need to have a protein shake. I stopped working out in the second trimester because I would work out and do my regular workout, lift weights, you know, and then I would have to take a nap afterwards, because I mean, not even because I wanted to, it was just like forced upon me. I was so exhausted after. I would just fall asleep, and I thought, well, this isn't practical. I can't just like work out and then have to plan for a nap after because I'm so exhausted. I started drinking a protein shake. It was night and day when I started increasing my protein. I can work out and I have my protein shake. I just feel so much energy. So really, the protein is so important. It's like my best tip. I didn't really hear about this beforehand. I heard a lot when I was planning on getting pregnant. I heard, you know, a lot of tips and things, but I don't know if I just didn't notice it or note it important enough. Increasing your protein will help you, especially if you're feeling really tired, because that is the biggest building block for your baby. It really just helps everything so much. It is my biggest tip. It is my midwife harps on it so much, and I know why now, because I just feel the difference night and day. If you're pregnant, make sure you're getting enough protein. I I found a protein shake, especially if you're pregnant in the summer. You know, I don't want to drink a vanilla protein shake like with milk and stuff right now. There is this, I'll put it up on the screen, Isopure, which is a really good protein brand, makes these like refresher type proteins that are clear and they're like tart, lemonade. They have good flavors. I want to try the watermelon lime one. I still haven't tried it. It's just the best protein ever. I would recommend it to every single pregnant woman ever. Have enough protein. It will help you so much. Those are all my notable things for the second trimester. I guess I didn't really talk about noticing my body change. I would think my second trimester, I was feeling like super cute and like pregnant lady-esque, which I still do, but I think I'll talk about this more in my third trimester. I feel like the third trimester is the hardest one because I feel like your body looks so different, feels so different. There's like more aches and pains now. So when I am either nearing the end of my third trimester or maybe after I have my baby, I will make a third trimester recap. So keep an eye out for that one if you're interested to hear about how my third trimester went. And I just want to put out some positive first, second, and third trimester experiences because I feel like a lot of a lot of women can't help it. They're really sick on their first trimester, but I thankfully wasn't. And I know there's a good amount of women that don't feel sick during their first trimester, so don't feel scared to be pregnant, because I think if you have enough magnesium, if you're taking magnesium, I think that really helps morning sickness, by the way. If you're just freshly pregnant and you're watching all of these recaps, because that's what I used to do all the time, is if you're having morning sickness, there's a link between morning sickness and magnesium. I read a few articles. It's not really that well known or popular, but I drink magnesium every single night and I did not have morning sickness. So just a last little tip here at the end of the video. Almost baby time. I'm so excited. Still feels so unreal. I'm just like, holy cow, I'm actually knocked up, you guys. What the heck? But yeah, I'm gonna film another video probably in the same shirt, so if you guys see that, that's why I'm filming 2 videos today. So thanks for watching this recap. I may or may not do a pregnancy Q&A, so if you want to be a part of that, keep an eye out on my community tab. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I've been trying to be better about asking you guys to subscribe to the channel and leave me a comment, because I get so happy when you guys comment on my videos. And I will see you for my next video. Bye.